Hello. So I want to go over what it means when you want to reflect a figure. So reflection is the first type of transformation that we are going to work on in this unit. And if you think about looking in a mirror, a reflection is what you see. You see a version of yourself flipped backwards. If I am standing looking in the mirror and I hold up my right hand, my reflection holds up its left hand. It's because it's a mirrored image. If you look on this screen right here, you can see this green triangle right here has been reflected onto this side of the graph. Notice this point here is pointing towards the middle. Well, its congruent or corresponding corner here is also pointing towards the middle. This one's pointing down, it's also pointing down. Now, the thing to remember about a reflection is whenever you're asked to perform a reflection, you're going to be given a line of reflection with which to flip it over. The line of reflection can be found by finding the midpoint or the middle of both of the shapes. So from this corner to this corner, this corner to this corner, this corner to this corner, the middle line in this image is our y-axis. So our line of reflection would be over the y-axis. If you go over to slide 2, you see this figure. I have a purple image, or not purple, that's green. I have a green image. I have its copy that's an orange image. Now, if you notice, this one was not reflected left and right. This one was reflected up and down. So to find my line of reflection, now I need the midway between these two shapes, which in this situation happens to be the x-axis. So my reflection is jumping over or flipping over the x-axis. Now, the other thing I want you to pay attention to are these values in each table. The green triangle was graphed using these ordered pairs, -2, 3, -1, 1, -4, 0, and -2, 3. The orange one was graphed using these. Look carefully at these values. The x values in both of those are exactly the same. They didn't change. The y values use the same numbers, except in the green image, those numbers are positive. In the orange image, those numbers are negative. So when you reflect over the x-axis, this is always going to be the same. The x numbers don't change. The y numbers change signs. So if we head to slide 3, that's what you're going to explain. Notice I didn't say the y values become positive or the y values become negative, because sometimes they don't start off negative and become positive. Or they don't start off positive and become negative. Sometimes they start off negative and they have to be turned positive. So I use the general term, the y values change signs. Now in algebra, you know that we like to write less because we have to write more. So we're going to apply these words to this ordered pair. If my reflecting over the x in my original ordered pair says xy, to reflect, my x value stays the same, so it's going to stay an x. My y value changes sign, so it's going to become a negative y. So I would submit that and then head over. Now we're going to practice that rule. Again, remember what that says. The x value stays the same, the y values change when I reflect over the x-axis. Still reflecting over the x-axis, okay? This is zoomed in a tiny bit. I can pinch and expand a little bit to zoom out. But if I click on this arrow right here, it'll show me the table used to create that triangle. So I need to follow that same rule. The rule said x values stay the same. So my x values are 1, 4, 7, and 1, and I know they're going to stay the same. 1, 4, 7, 1. The rule then said 3, 1, 0, 3. Well, here 7, 3, 5, 7, but the x value doesn't stay the same. It changes sign. So my positive 7 becomes a negative 7. My positive 3 becomes a negative 3. Notice it's starting to graph that shape now. My positive 5 becomes a negative 5. My positive 7 becomes a negative 7. Here is my reflection over the x-axis. Now let's take a look at the next slide. Before, we were going up and down. If you notice on this slide, it's not up and down. Now it's left and right. over here, if you click these arrows, it'll expand that table for us so we can see the values. Can we find this midpoint or the middle of these two shapes? Yep, it's right here. It happens to be the y-axis. So our line of reflection on slide 5 is the y-axis. Now, tell me what you notice about in the table. Let's look super close. Our x values go -2, -1, -4, 2, 2, 1, 4, 2. So this time our x values change signs. Our y values, 3, -2, 0, 3, 3, -2, 0, 3. Yep, our y values stayed the same. So over here on slide 6, oh my goodness, I can't type today. And then to write the algebraic rule, the x values change sign. My positive x will go with negative x. The y values stay the same, so my y stays a y. Submit, and we will practice this one. So here we go. Let's reflect that green triangle. So remember, if I reflect over the y, which one stays the same? Y values here. So I'm going to start with those in my table. My y values are 2, 1, 4, 2. So I just went ahead and typed those right in. Now my x values change signs. So my -3 becomes a +3. -1 becomes a +1. -1 becomes a +1. -3 becomes a +3. There we go. So do you see the difference? Instead of going up and down, now I'm flipping over the y-axis here. Starting with slide 8, 2 things to know. Thing 1, be very careful. At the top of each of these following slides, it's going to give you the line of reflection. Make sure you read that carefully, because if you reflect over the wrong line, your image is wrong. Second, it's asking you to create a new table. If you look over here, there's only one table. So here's what you need to do. You see this box is labeled number 1. Click down in the box for number 2. Hit the plus button up here. A menu will come up, and you want to go down and hit table. Notice it brings up this table. Couple things to know. Whenever you perform a transformation, you do not want your original and your image to be the same color. So we need to change the color. Also, we need to make sure it connects the dots. So here's how we do that. Up here, the little gear button, it'll say edit. We're going to click on that second circle. This is where I can change the color. Change whatever color you want as long as it's not purple. I'm going to go orange. Then to get it to connect our points, we need to turn this lines feature on. Then I hit done. Now, pay really close attention. This time I'm going over the x-axis. If I forgot how to reflect over the x-axis, we did that back on slide 3. The x stays the same, the y's change. So let's jump back to slide 8. So the x stays the same, so I go -3, -1, -6, -3, and the y's stay the same, or the y's change, so we're going -2, -5, -4, -2. There's my reflection. So that's how you complete this activity today. You're going to do the same thing on these slides. When you get to slide 13, you may need to zoom in. Alex made a mistake. He tried to reflect it over the x-axis. What did he do wrong? So on this slide, you'll tell in this box what he did wrong. Then here's the original points. To reflect it over the x-axis, what happens to these points? Because you're going to change them on here to the new points, and then you're going to plot the points here. Finally, on slide 15, you're going to rewrite the rules that we found. Turn these into Echo. Have a great day. Hope this helps.